Monster Island Secrets. Well, shit. It's time for the 4th Monster Island Secrets video. All because our channel has now passed 85,000 subscribers. What? It's hard to process that each one of those is one real person somewhere on Earth watching this nonsense. I think it could be real easy for YouTubers to forget that and start looking at the sub count as just a number. So I like doing these milestone videos to kind of stop and appreciate that it's not just a number. Let's just jump into the Season 4 secrets. Monster Island, but there are a lot of firsts this season, so I'll try to catch them all, but there may be some that slip through. For one, Season 4 starts with the very first April Fool's video I ever did on the channel. It's a joke unboxing / toy review video, but then it kinda accidentally became the template for review videos I do today. You got the figure lineup in the back, tiny black table. Wow, look how young my hands look. Little baby hands. Anyway, here's the first appearance of the Monster Island Frog, who I believe has appeared in every April Fool's video since in some way. He's actually an accessory toy that came with my Final Fantasy VII Tifa figure way back in like 1997. Just got this in the mail. That SH Monster Arts box is the set that comes with military vehicles. At the time it was new, but still really hard to find. Oh, and look, there's Orga's first appearance technically. The poop here is pretty obviously some type of melted chocolate bar, and this bathing hedgehog footage comes from a friend of mine. Very sadly, this hedgehog has now passed, but he led a very good and full life, and was loved. I still use that nose hair trimmer to this day. I keep it clean up there. This is one of the very few videos that I still like today. Usually I turn on my own videos at some point, and I can only see their flaws, but I haven't turned on this one yet. Okay, now we start the story proper. This is the season where Godzilla is in meltdown mode, and I will say that it felt kind of weird to use a different Godzilla toy for so long. So the first thing I wanted to do here was kind of wrap up the whole future Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla time loop thing from last season. I wanted to get that finished before it got even more complicated, although I really had fun with the non-linear aspects of the plot. Now it's the first appearance of the Monster Island babies! This was intended to be a one-off, but I had so much fun with the baby characters that I'd soon give them their own episodes. And then the countdown to episode 50 begins. This season was also fun because Gamera got to spend some time as Godzilla's sidekick.
Alright, Manila. It's time you learned how to breathe fire. Fire's scary! Ugh.
Just to warn you, I pretty much used the term breathe fire through this entire arc. I know you purists out there are shouting, "It's not fire, it's atomic breath" at the screen. Look, I don't know what to tell you. Fire's just easier for me to say. Now we get the first appearance of Zilla in his adult form, and actually the first confirmation that Godzilla's stepson is indeed Zilla.
Damn, look at those lean muscles.
I've always felt that it was weird that Godzilla's saying, "You've grown," while staring directly at Zilla's crotch. It was not intentional.
Orga's in the house. Hey, there's a hand on your back. There's a hand on my back.
Okay, now's the first appearance of Orga as a proper character, and his first line ever is what will become his catchphrase. At this point in the show, the overall plot was getting deep enough where, to me, it started standing out more and more that these are just toys with hands on their back in environments that make no sense for the story. So I thought this would be a good time to have a character who can just call that out and call out other weird angles of the show. It's nice to have that voice pointing out the absurdities within the show itself because it acknowledges these things without addressing them, if you know what I mean. It's my way of saying to the audience, look, yeah, I know. Just stick with it, alright?
Oh man, that Gorgo. She'll never learn.
Here's also the first confirmation ever that Godzilla's off-screen ex-wife is none other than Gorgo, a pretty famous non-Toho kaiju. Look at Jet in the background. Yeah, he had to spend much of the season as a background character to give Gamera a little more time in the spotlight.
What are you looking at? 6 more what?
Monster Island babies.
Monster Island babies! This was a fun way to show how the buddies met King Ghidorah and how, from the very beginning, he was a little conflicted. Here's a fun joke about a moth eating sweaters.
Only a divine moth has the power to take on my dad. A moth! Ha ha ha! What's a moth gonna do, eat his sweaters?
With a punchline that occurs way later in the episode Date Night, where Mothra has a pile of sweaters on her dinner plate.
God damn it, you were the worst accident ever. You can't do anything right.
So this line from Godzilla's dad is the exact same line Godzilla said to his son in the earlier episode. Right around here, we're really starting to see how Godzilla's relationship with his father is what screwed him up, and it's the reason he puts pressure on Manila while also barely caring about him. I wouldn't even say not caring about him, it's more like just keeping him at a safe distance. Anyway, it's a lot of fun to go back and fill in the blanks like this. This is where we learn that Godzilla's dad, the original Gojira, was killed by the oxygen destroyer in the ocean. Although we now know that he was really just reduced to bone and would spend the next half-century regenerating.
Orca's back in the house. And check it out, I got Batra with me.
And now we get the first appearance of Batra. I guess I bought a lot of new figures before this season. Including Mothra as a larva, it seems. I couldn't wait for the opportunity to use Silly String as Mothra's webbing, but it was not fun to clean that up. And then Orga is stuck in a big wad of Halloween webbing there.
Welcome back to Monsters in the Afternoon.
Continuing a running joke here, we have a talk show called Monsters in the Afternoon. Remember that it was originally Monsters in the Morning. Oh look, the Monster Island Frog is in the audience. I forgot he did pop up in some non-April Fool's videos.
What are your predictions for the fight? Pain.
I've been trying to work in this Rocky 3 reference for years. I was so happy to finally organically get it in an episode. If you're looking for the best in car insurance, with a long tradition of excellence and a history of customer satisfaction. I wish I had insight for the sock joke, but no, it just is.
Anything else left on your bucket list?
Just one more thing. I've always wanted to go to G-Fest.
I took a real gamble with Godzilla saying he wanted to go to G-Fest because if I recall correctly, I hadn't actually purchased the tickets yet at that point. Luckily, it all worked out. This was my first G-Fest ever, and I went with my brother who voices Gamera. We pretty much just rolled with the punches and made up the script as we went along. At the time, my channel was much smaller, so even on the day I wore a Monster Island Buddies t-shirt, I'd say only a handful of people actually approached me. One was this little guy named Jupiter who did the art for this title card. Jupiter, do you still watch this show? Where'd he go? Anyway, I had a fantastic time at this G-Fest. It was so enjoyable. Look at all those wonderful toys. I love the way that a lot of soft vinyl toys look together. We snuck into an empty room to do this joke real quick. I was nervous we'd get kicked out, but it was all good. I think this is the one and only time on the show that characters appeared before I officially owned their toys, since I paid for these two guys after I shot the footage here. I don't have a lot to say about this costume contest segment. It was just really enjoyable. So yeah, I technically split one character into two here by having these babies be two separate characters. I just thought it'd be funnier if he got multiple new kids instead of one new kid. Technically, this is the first time I voiced an Ultra on this show. Technically.
And nobody knows that I've pissed my pants.
My former coworker and I had been working on this King Seesaw rap for a while, and it just happened to land on episode 49. He wrote all of the lyrics, as he does with all King Seesaw raps. I built the episode around the lyrics. No secrets, just that this was a more creative episode than usual at the time, and I was really proud of it.
Like Bacardi, I'll ride that monster booty like it was a Maserati.
And we made it, folks. Episode 50, the first major milestone in the series, the turning point of the whole show. And this is the last episode to be filmed in this apartment before I moved. There's a lot going on here, but before we start, as of this video, I've noticed that a lot of new viewers are coming to the channel via episode 50. I guess this particular episode gets recommended a lot right now. And that's hilarious because here's how the episode starts. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of comments on this video from people who just wandered in without context, and it's funny as hell. Anyway, we start with a flashback. We know from an earlier episode that this line is a lie.
Hey, it's Thursday. I got poker with my friends.
Ghidorah's really gonna go meet up with Hedorah for some sex, cause he's a cheater.
The time has come to wage war on Godzilla and his amazing friends.
If you didn't know, Godzilla and His Amazing Friends is a stop animation YouTube show done by my friend Goji73. And if you didn't know that, go watch it right now. So I made this episode as kind of a wrap-up for the first 50 episodes with a lot of callbacks, and here's one callback with Gigan.
Maybe it's good enough just being a Monster Island buddy.
Here's Godzilla's first pre-war motivational speech.
Lame.
Then we have more callbacks. Then finally, the great battle.
Wow, everyone's in this fight, huh? Hey, not everyone. We should put Gorosaurus in this fight. Hey, why hasn't Gorosaurus been on a show yet?
This reference to Gorosaurus is because at the time, he was probably the most demanded monster in the comment section of the videos. I'd say Biollante was the second most requested.
Hey guys, Monster Island buddies here.
And another callback to both the April Fool's episode and the space-time pair of ducks.
It's over. Your pathetic army has been defeated. Any last words?
I made a boom boom!
And this is a deep callback. We're jumping to the beginning of Season 2 when Manila says, I made a boom boom. We repeat that line here, and then Manila appears on some kind of dragon mecha. This was actually a gift from someone. I believe it was from a craft fair booth where an artist was turning metal scraps into all sorts of creatures. It is dense. This statue is pure metal, and it's kind of heavy. I got to use more of the special effects app right here, which is always a good time. We close up some story arcs with Manila and Godzilla, and then introduce a new Mothra figure to the show to kick Kaiser's ass. And then, Godzilla sacrifices himself to save his friends and win the war. And we end with a joke of Anguirus speaking for the very first time ever. And I will say that at the time it was going to be a one-off joke.
What do we do now? We live our lives, old chap. We live. I mean... Arr, 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 arr.
And this is one of my favorite joke punchlines ever. Lord Blundergash appears for the very first time, and he is exactly like Gamera described him from the very beginning. One of my favorite things to do is close out long jokes with their punchlines way down the line. Another thing I did was finally reveal why Kaiser needed the Staroya's wing. Because it somehow helps him transform into his true form? I don't know. So we did it. We covered the first 50 episodes of Monster Island Buddies. Phase 1, if you will. As always, I hope this Secrets video was fun and informative for you. We'll do a video for Secrets Season 5 at 95,000 subscribers, and then we'll do something even more special if and when we hit 100,000. I really want to thank you all again, and I hope you stay with the channel for the long haul. I'm also seeing a lot of comments recently from people who rediscovered the show after not have watched it for years. I always find it kind of heartwarming when people find their way back here, and I hope you all stick around because I've got a lot of ideas I want to show you. You keep watching these silly videos, I'll keep making them.
And here's me, motherfuckers. I got 36 points of articulation. 43 if you count my dick. You've grown, kid! Yes, father, I had a bit of a spurt. Damn, look at those lean muscles. Can you breathe fire?